I get this question a lot. They say, I'm not a slicer, I'm a big hooker of the golf ball. What can I do to stop that hook? Am I releasing too early? What's the problem? We're gonna look at that this week. Why does a golfer hook the golf ball? Okay, I get that question a lot. Now, most commonly it's why do I slice the golf ball? Now, the hook is just the complete opposite of why do I slice. The club face is getting too closed to the path through impact, okay? Now, generally, you will see a player with a lot of release into impact to hit that hook. Now, there are some players that elite player move would be getting too much flexion, too strong of a grip. There are a lot of variables that can go into causing that giant hook, okay? The first one that we'll address is too much release, okay? Now, release is simply when the arms turn the club head over, the wrist turn the club head over, something is causing the club head to go and turn over through impact, okay? Anytime it releases too hard, then you run the risk of hitting a big hook. So you'll see a lot of my players don't have that hard release through impact. They're pre-aligning themselves so that they can hold an angle through impact. I think that's the best way to learn how to address the hook. But if the club face is open, if there's some variable that's off, then a player is generally going to have to release that club head hard through impact to have a chance for it to square up, okay? That is a perfectly normal thing, and it can definitely lead to a big hook every time that a player does it. So, if I'm getting in here and I look up and I see my club head is open to the sky in my downswing, then I am going to have to release that club head to get it square. If I don't, it's wide open, it's pointing to the right, big shank, big slice. Not the result we want, okay? So the player will just get in here and flip it to try and square it up. If you don't time that movement up perfectly, then the golf ball is gonna wanna turn massively to the left, okay? So how does a player go about keeping themselves from having to have that big release every time they come into impact? Now, we need to find a way to get ourselves in a position where that club head is matching. If we want to hit a nice draw, baby draw, a little bit down from matching the spine angle here. If we want a straight shot, we want it to match my spine angle, and a little cut, we can be a little bit open to that, okay? Those are three ball flights that are going to create a condition where the ball's not curving big time through impact, or after impact. We want to be able to control that and have that movement be a little 3-4 yard movement either way. So to be able to get yourself in a position to control that club head through impact, the first key is to getting a grip that matches. If you find yourself in a position where the club head is open at all times, you are going to need to get your grip a little bit stronger on the handle, okay? So getting the V's more over here. That is one way to get the club head more under control. Another way to get the club head under control, which is more difficult, but we do it with a lot of players, and it has benefits in the downswing, is to get the wrist angle to flex more. So if I'm here, that's extension, when I have the wrist in that condition. If I put it more this way, that turns the club face more square if I'm working towards that flexion position. So a flatter, even flexed out wrist, will move the club head more square, okay? So if I'm here and it's extended, and I add the flexion, that club face instantly turns down into more of a draw condition, all right? So a player has to decide what's easier for me to do. Is it easier to strengthen it? Do I have room to strengthen it and still be in a comfortable position? Or is it easier for me to get into a position where that wrist is adding more flexion? The flexion has the benefit of wanting to keep the club head more behind the hands in transition. So that can be a huge positive for a player who's trying to make a change that way. But in order for you to stop closing the face too early and hitting that big hook, you're gonna wanna get it in that position. Now, there can be a position where a player gets himself too flexed, too strong of a grip, and just neutrally comes through here and gets everything hooking hard to the left without a release. That's very rare, but that's something you can check. You can look down and see, are the V's on my hand more over to the right? Is my wrist way too flexed in a video? You can check that yourself and you can diagnose why that hook is happening, and you can make that change yourself. I hope this helped everybody get rid of the hook. Hey guys, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button down below. I come out with new content every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Hope you enjoy. Thanks.